Good evening, everybody. Well, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another edition of 205 Live Matters. And thank you for all who have continued on this great journey with me, discussing and appreciating everything about Cruiserweight Wrestling in WWE. With that being said, you are in for a special edition tonight because this will be a live recap retrospective led by my guest tonight. First off, he's a good brother, a leader of the AEW Nation. He brings more humor than most personalities I know under Team No DQ. It is, of course, good brother, fan of NJPW and AEW and more in independent wrestling, sport independent wrestling, folks. Christopher Lewis. Chris, how are you? Been a while.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 months since I've been on 205 Live Matters. Almost 2 months.
Yeah. Hey, good things come to those who wait. Whenever I have more people on than just two, and I got you guys on, it's always a special treat. Speaking of which, she is a darling of Team No DQ and one of the three ladies. She is not sensitive. She's real. Deal with it. It is, of course, my good friend here and also fellow member of Team Indie DQ, the lovely Cindy G. Cindy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Man, the week of wrestling is now over. Man, wrestling week in the Bay Area, like Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live in San Francisco, followed by an independent wrestling show that happened on Friday, which, man, cannot wait. Now it's over, week off until, of course, Hell in a Cell in Sacramento on October 6th.
Enjoy that
Cannot wait.
cell in all of its glory. But with that
Mm,
being said, yeah, it's been a wild week for wrestling in general, and we are about to be turning up even higher with the upcoming week in October. And ladies and gentlemen, as far as y'all know, 205 Live will resume according to WWE's schedule, but 205 Live Matters maybe under a different recording schedule. Stay tuned for further details. But with that being said, I'm usually the simple man, your host, and of course, your little guide in all of 205 Live for the week. However, these two right here, they saw it live. So all I'm going to do is basically say this. Cindy, good brother Chris, how was 205 Live experience for you two? I'll start with you, Cindy.
Well, after SmackDown Live went off the air, there was still a lot of crowd that was still in the attendance, despite the reports about the poor attendance going on. But I know they did stick around a bit just to watch 205 Live. I noticed that the San Francisco 49ers players did left right when 205 Live started, which, mind you, me and Chris did sit by the floor seat, which if you guys go to my personal YouTube channel, I did a vlog of the whole experience from SmackDown Live and 205 Live in particular. You guys can see how close we are at. With that being said, it was like a pretty great experience seeing them. We all thought that it's going to be the final episode of 205 Live until we got the reports from NoDQ.com on our way to the Chase Arena Center that they're moving to Friday night. So with that being said, um, it was kind of like a 50-50 situation with like the crowd noises and whatnot. And I only see just one person with the sign that has Orly Lorcan's name on it. With that being said, it was a pretty great experience overall.
All right, very nice. Good brother, how was 205 Live for you?
Oh man, what Sydney said, sitting on floor seats was really awesome, and seeing the 205 Live logo just all around was just awesome. The crowd was really hyped for that episode. I feel like a lot of people didn't really leave. We saw some crowds. There were some people. I was looking around like, man, this is pretty cool. I feel like California really loves 205 Live, just
Yeah,
like when Sydney was there in Sacramento a couple months ago. Like the crowd was
back in
just red hot, hands down. And if this is my honest opinion, because I know she was there for the San Francisco, and I know San Francisco and for Sacramento, I gotta say Sacramento was a better crowd and the better matches, in my honest opinion. I'm not
Okay,
gonna take that
sure.
away. But honestly, it was a great experience. I was wearing the T-shirt very proudly, Noah. I had to represent. I saw your tweet. I couldn't reply back because I'm not on Twitter at the moment. So
And nothing but love and support, man. Social media, you take it as you treat it, and you just roll with it. You don't let it control you. You don't let it affect you.
Yeah, and can I just say real quick, because I know people are going to comment down the section about, like, you pay extra money just to watch SmackDown Live in 205. Like, no. Chris won the ticket from a radio show as a contest.
Nice.
2 tickets won, and he invited me to come along. So I'm, like, forever grateful. Thank you, good brother Chris, for inviting me to see SmackDown Live. And floor seats, like, man.
It's really funny. Because originally we were supposed to be sitting on 100 level, like 117.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was like, okay, you guys go to the left. Because we had to take, there was a situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy was like, oh, they're still fixing some construction on that side. And it was tarred. Like, it was like all in black.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to give you guys an upgrade. And Sydney I was shocked. Sydney was like marking out a little bit before it happened with Becky Lynch. She was like, well, Luke, can I tell the story of, I would let Sydney say it. I would let Sydney say it.
Well, this is the second time I'm actually sitting floor seats, because that was actually when I went to my first SmackDown Live back in 2016 in the SAP State Center in San Jose. But I was sitting floor seat, but on the 6th floor, not 6th floor, 6th row. Hi, Matthew of Botchamania. How are you? But I digress.
Yeah,
So,
she was gonna go do her little stick, like, I was there, I'm like, girl, calm down. The black guy right next to the Asian guy was laughing like, oh wow. So it was pretty good. It was like, it was awesome. Sitting on floor seats was just unbelievable for me. I'm like, wow, we can just see the ring, the whole 9 yards and whatnot. And plus, we got to see Buddy Murphy on the dark match, who didn't really deserve to be there.
Damn it.
yeah, basically Apollo Crews, which Apollo Crews did beat Buddy Murphy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen neither high nor tail of either of them since. But with that being said, before we talk any more about, the atmosphere, your experience, and maybe the overall seating, let's go ahead and talk about the show. Because I'm probably like, is this a retrospective or a review? It's both, people. Simple as that. So with that being said, you all got to enjoy, and this week marks 205 Live emanating from San Francisco on September the 24th. The show kicked off giving us a recap of the stellar #1 Contenders Cruiserweight Championship match between Oney Lorcan and the returning Lio Rush on NXT Live. Nice, interesting deal package, of course, showing all the highlight spots, including that wicked standing Spanish fly spot out of nowhere, and, of course, his big split leg extended splash that gave him the win. Then we go to Gulak, who introduced us not only to the show, but, of course, also brings up another ghost from his past. He basically states the following: so Lio Rush is back, and so I must deal with another ghost from my past. However, I am constantly evolving and adapting, while some have yet to fulfill that. Segue. He talks about Oney Lorcan. Oney Lorcan has had multiple title opportunities, but he has yet to capitalize. You know why? Because he fails to adapt. I've heard this adapt line before from somewhere, but anyway, he says, ever since then, my grip on the Cruiserweight title has grown tighter and stronger. And you know what? He could have got a surprise, but he didn't. He went with predictable running mate Danny Burch, who has yet to even be featured on 205 Live. And he basically says that regardless what happens here, I hope they Rush you're watching, and know this: change is the rule, and I am the law. So we go into our theme. Oh, wait, no, we don't. We get another segue kind of retrospective of the show by...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, gotta imagine it. The Singh brothers, who apparently are still in their Bollywood studio. Bullcrap. And they talk about tonight's show. And they basically talk about what you all got to see. You got to see Angel Garza versus Budo Carrillo, which is a battle on jealousy, they put it. How jealousy splits apart families. Bobby, we would never let that happen to us. And then they talk about how they are so close to coming back after all their time in the Bollywood movie studio, once again proving why they are the greatest tag team in 205 Live. So they will be watching tonight's main event very thoroughly and see if either team is worthy of being nominated for the Bollywood Award, cheap dime store bowling trophy. And basically they said, regardless, when we come back, it will be lights, camera, Bollywood action, and we finally get into the show. And wow, this, like I said, these two, they could put on a main event match. And to go at your point, I really do think your area, California, it is a mecca for wrestling of all sorts, especially the Lucha Libre style. Not just talking about when they hosted, the Super J Cup. You all had Dragon Lee. You all had CML there. You all truly respect the Lucha Libre style. And boy, did these two brought it. With that being said, Cindy, take me through your thoughts on this match. Humberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza. Before you got too much recording with Aiden English's commentary.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did watch just the live experience for it. It was a pretty decent match so far. The crowd was pretty, 50-50 on it. But I feel like right in the middle of the match, it's kind of like a bit of a cool down for a bit until Angel Garza did take off his pants. Of course, the tattoo mark out for that part. But what you said, it was a lot of good back and forth action, battle between both cousins. I really enjoyed Humberto Carrillo's performance in general. At the end, his finisher to Angel Garza, spot on, perfect. That match did not disappoint me whatsoever. But with that being said, it was great seeing Angel Garza for the first time and first time on 205 Live. So I'm hoping we get to see more of him and plus a little bit more about who is Angel Garza is. I wish they would give him a little bit more of a video package for 205 Live, but I know that some of the cruiserweights are going to be going to already in NXT because that's where NXT is going to be producing 205 Live. So if they can do kind of like a vigilante just to get to know more of the talents from NXT to 205 Live, kind of like in split shift, that would make it more understandable who are these person is. I know that some people who follow Angel Garza in the indies, known as Garza Jr., and, part of the dynasty, that will make sure, just to tune in who he is. So with that being said, match was perfect from the live perspective.
All right, fair enough. And disclaimer, folks, again, you see video issues, we're working on it, deal with it. We're always rendered 360p on Airbrush channel. You want this in full HD, go to my Civil YouTube channel. Simple as that. With that being said, before I talk about my thoughts on this match, good brother Chris, give me your thoughts on this match. Which person impressed you more in it, and there's any takeaway you take from this?
Seeing it live and watching it on the WWE Network, the crowd was pretty red hot for the first 3-4 minutes. Then it started to cool down. Then everything started to really pick up. They're telling the story. That you don't have to see no flippity doos and whatnot. Let them see what they can really do with their mat game, their technical wrestling skills and whatnot. When, yes, I did marked out when, Angel Garza ripped the pants. You got it, because every time from New Japan, Taishi always do the pants. I gotta do it all the time. The pants, I do it.
So I get that 100%. Continue.
Yes, but listening to it on the network, listening to the commentary, I'm gonna get this off my chest right now.
Uh-oh.
Aiden English was really creeping me out. I'm trying to eat. I'm really trying to eat. He's like, I want to buy him some chocolate. I want to buy him some sodas. I want to take him to bowling. And I'm just like, is Aiden English okay? And I had to pause it 3 times. I'm trying to eat and trying to enjoy this match at the same time, but I can't. I'm like, yo, can you kind of put the no homo a little bit, man? But anyway, the match was really, really good when Humberto Carrillo finally won the match. And, English is just like, yes, he did it! We're going to celebrate his birthday! Vic Joseph, and man, it's not his birthday!
It will be one day.
At the exact same time. I'm just like, Aiden English was just on a roll. If Humberto, I'm gonna write a petition. Can we please get rid of Aiden English away from Humberto Carrillo's matches? Please. That was too much. Too much.
You trying to give him a restraining order or something?
I'm like, yo, I want to buy him 2K20 so I can play with him. I'm like, okay, that was enough for me. That was enough for me.
All right. Well, with that being said, yes, I thought this was a great match watching on the network about the cousins, and apparently this was brought down from Humberto Carrillo using what everybody does pretty much, whether you're family or friend, social media told him happy birthday. And basically Garza felt insulted. And thus we got this match. And ironically, Angel Garza is exactly 205 pounds, so this match was allowed. And boy, it was a great back and forth bout. Initially, both men jockeying for position, challenging each other's mat game. We had a couple of moonsaults and the quick pinning combinations, a couple of arm drag counters. And yeah, after this point, he's like, hey, grab my hand. We're cousins. Carrillo's like not going to hand back because, heads up, Angel Garza was on 205 Live before. He was part of that 5-on-5 Captain's Choice match. Just saying. This is his first one-on-one encounter, but I get what you mean.
Yes.
And basically, Carrillo, he knocks his hand away. He gets some control. And then Garza's like, stop! And apparently, there go the pants. I think
yeah, but Chris marked out.
And Aiden English said somewhere Nigel probably fainted. And by the way, during this whole beginning bit, Aiden English giving out the ultimate birthday wish list makes you want him as your friend, basically. And Dio Madd and Vic Joseph are like, okay, Aiden's a no on that. I'm going back to you. I don't know how Vic and Dio got through that, but
It's not
anyway.
his birthday.
Angel Garza relying on his specialty, drop kicks. There was drop kick into a moonsault. Roberto Carrillo gets hung up. He gets drop kick into the left leg, thus trying to take out the speed of Roberto Carrillo, because once Roberto Carrillo gets going, it's hard to stop him, because that is where Roberto Carrillo best is at. You know, he relies on high-flying aerial offenses, roll-through maneuvers. And for the most part, this was the low bill of the match, where it was just a simple rest hold. Until Roberto Carrillo, he finally gained some momentum when the crowd got behind him. We get a handstand, springboard, and true drop kick, nice pinfall, nothing special. But on this build, the special is the rope through drop kick. And then the one time he goes for the handstand, springboard, back elbow strike, he gets drop kick in the back. He ate like, what, 4 or 5 different drop kicks in this match? Good grief almighty. I hope his spine's okay. But anyway, Roberto Carrillo, he gained some momentum with the springboard, suspended arm drag. I don't even know what you call that. Still surprises me. Wicked missile drop kick. We get a kick out. He goes over the top rope into a flying, twisting dive. I don't know what Mauro would even call that. And then Vic Joseph brings up, this is what 205 Live's all about. It's all about the spirit of competition. Eventually, Roberto Carrillo, though, he gets hung up and gets a drop kick to the midsection from Angel Garza. Oh, by the way, disclaimer. Those pants apparently are weighted pants. It has Angel Garza basically taking his time until he takes them off, and then he goes at 100%, according to what Dio Madd says. I guess Dio Madd literally researches everything about the wrestlers, including their wardrobe and how it affects them. I thought that was kind of interesting. Anyway, both men, they basically took near falls and frustration after hitting some high aerial offense. In the end, though, it was a shoulder post for Angel Garza, based on frustration coming out of Roberto Carrillo, that led to the finish on Roberto Carrillo setting up his Aztec press. Don't think he got all of it. It may have looked perfect to y'all, but it looked a little light to me. But of course, exhaustion and fatigue was sitting in. Plus, these two collided with each other earlier in the match. I thought that was going to be a near double count to a draw, because I want to see this match again. In the end, Roberto Carrillo, he gets the win, continues his momentum, and truth be told, they were putting this over in commentary too, about maybe Angel Garza is a little just, because really, Roberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza, the current runs right now on the WWE banner, Carrillo's had the better run. He's got more wins, he's got more opportunities, and Garza, he's had great matches, but he lost to Breakout Tourney, and he recently lost to Pete Dunne. Just saying, there is some validity there. But I thought this was a really nice opener, and both men, they dropped a little nod and stuff like that. Mutual respect, you know, their family, their cousins. I'm sure this is the last time we're going to see these two in the ring, whether one-on-one or who knows, maybe a tag team could form. I mean, we're still waiting on the next Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, but
Yep.
I'm just saying. All right, and I agree also on the whole NXT immersion, bring awareness to the Cruiserweights thing with the veil patches, kind of like what they did with Roberto Carrillo and Roderick Strong about this, their lives, what brought them here, etc. Well, maybe we'll see more of that, because the creative direction now is being led by NXT Creative for 205 Live. Well, again, we'll see how this all shapes out as we enter Premiere Week next week. With that, we go on to our next segment, which is a recap of Jack Gallagher, the Brian Kendrick, Akira Tozawa, and the betrayal of the Brian Kendrick to his so-called friend, Akira Tozawa, as well as just throwing away a match with Jack Gallagher. He basically says it is defined by one word: respect. He feels the lack thereof. An epidemic. He's the veteran. He's been there now since day one. He came in as champion day one and lost it day one to Rich Swann, and has yet to have a Cruiserweight title opportunity since. So now he says he's going to, well, basically he pulls a Chris Jericho. He says he wants to thank you, and he's going to force you all to respect him, and he's going to remind you all why the Brian Kendrick is the reason 205 Live exists. So now we got a little bit more in the psyche of the Brian Kendrick, but I kind of saw this coming from last week because he's got a point. He's frustrated. He hasn't had the opportunity since. Good brother, what do you think is next for the Brian Kendrick, and what do you think he needs to do to earn another Cruiserweight Championship opportunity?
Well, like you said, he needs to win more matches. The last time he's ever got a Cruiserweight title shot was in December of 2016, Roadblock End of the Line. That was the pay-per-view when he wrestled Rich Swann and TJ Perkins in a triple threat match.
That long?
Yep.
Correct.
Wow.
Yep.
That was the last one. Kendrick, to me, I've seen his work for many years. He's already hit his glass ceiling. He already finally fixed his story when he finally won the Cruiserweight Championship at Hell in a Cell 2016.
Correct.
It's like he lost it. It's like, what's next for him? What has he done lately? He's lost pretty much some feuds. He was mostly with Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher back in 2017. Then he disbanded that group in 2018. Then 2019, he's been pairing with Akira Tozawa. We've seen that feud in the past back in 2017 with those two wrestlers for many, many months. And I know you was there live when you saw that street fight. Am I correct? Yes, stroke your ego, sir. Anyway. No, it's good seeing you again. But anyway, when it comes to the feud, I don't know. Are we going to see a triple threat match between those two? Like you said on your 205 Live Matters episode. It's just a setup for Akira Tozawa turning heel. Like he's playing along. Like he's taking the hits like a man, pretending like, why did you do that? Why did you do this to me? Maybe it could be a setup. I don't know. Time will tell. We need to see something new when it comes to these storylines on 205 Live.
Especially with these three, because these three are no strangers to each other. Like you said, Jack the Brian Kendrick, they were in a tandem alliance for a short while under Drew Gulak. And the Brian Kendrick was out. They feuded, they friended, now they're separate. Now all three are on their own. Cindy, what do you see next coming out of this between all three men? And out of these three, who do you think needs to earn the next title opportunity the most?
Okay, it's going to have to be someone that has to, be more over. Not only 205 Live and NXT will be merges, but I'm thinking also NXT UK. I could see Gentleman Jack Gallagher. He's on 205 Live. He's on NXT. He is also on NXT UK. He needs to have a little bit more wins for the matches in all three brands in particular. And that way, if he gets more wins and more wins, then they could book him better and probably just compete just for the Cruiserweight title. But he has to compete against someone who is a babyface. With Brian Kendrick, however, I feel like he needs to get more wins of the match, but for just NXT and 205 Live himself, I feel that, he just needed to focus on just putting the new talents over. The ones that, we have to be more familiarized in NXT in particular. Those stars in NXT we'll be seeing more of them on 205 Live.
Without a doubt.
Just get to know them. With Akira Tozawa, honestly, it's time for him to go turn heel. Don't know when, because when he debuted on the Cruiserweight Classic and then 205 Live, he's been a babyface. And it did not go anywhere, especially he's the shortest reigning Cruiserweight champion. So I think a heel turn would be a perfect fit for him. Don't know which of his feud he's going to go to. Maybe have him versus Kushida. Who knows?
All right. Very fair points here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, basically, we'll see what happens because they didn't announce anything official as of next week. Who knows what's going to happen after Friday Night SmackDown? Yes, they're changing the name of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that led us into our main event. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, the 1-2 pairing, versus the tandem of Tony Nese and Drew Gulak. Good brother Chris, take me through your thoughts on this match and Danny Burch's 205 Live debut. Considering we already know who Drew Gulak's facing for the title next.
Okay. It was my first time seeing Danny Burch live, on 205 Live and period live. He was good. He got a good reaction. The whole 1-2 thing. Me and Sydney was doing the cheering too live, and watching it on the WWE Network. Maybe people was like, okay, let's see what this guy can do. Danny Burch is not a high flyer. He's more of a ground and pound, in your face, no nonsense.
Right.
Yep. So, and his British style. I have no problem with his style whatsoever. He's great in the ring. I was surprised he's 205. I was surprised he was on this card. So, hey, but you gotta help his best friend Orty Lorcan. And Orty Lorcan has been very impressive for the last few months since being on 205 Live. The tag team match was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was not bored. But on the WWE Network, I want to bring this up. When Tony Nese was going for that second rope moonsault,
yes,
you can actually see a little bit of purple on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Freeze frame.
Yes, I was like, I think that was me. But I was looking for Sydney too, but I was like, I can't. So it was like, the dark in that area. So, because we was on the left side. We was on the entrance side, but on the left side.
Right. I was looking for y'all too during the whole show. Like, I wonder if I can see either one of them. I couldn't see him.
I kept pausing and looking around. And there was another tag, and it was on that camera as well, but you could barely see us. But anyway, the tag team match was pretty good. I just look at Tony Nese, and I'm just like, man, you're just a sidekick. Like, he was with, Drew Gulak early on as a sidekick. Then he was with that one guy he was also a sidekick. Then he was with Buddy Murphy.
Yes.
That's right.
A sidekick. Now he's back with Gulak. You're just sidekick.
That's right. And my sidekick deliver my package.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
How convenient. Segue.
Yep.
Continue.
Yeah. But Tony Nese to me is just a sidekick. Drew Gulak is really at his best right now. He's the Cruiserweight champion. He's doing his thing. I can't wait for the match he's wrestling with Lio Rush. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe on 205 Live on Friday night, or it could be on NXT. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But Drew Gulak is going to keep that championship for quite a while. I think he should keep that championship all the way by the end of the year.
All right.
But that tag team match, Orty Lorcan and Danny Burch getting the victory, I thought it was a good call. It was a good call. Danny Burch got the pin on the sidekick, Tony Nese. Yeah, that's his new nickname for me now, because Tony Nese is just a sidekick. And thank God he's back as a heel. Thank God. Because him as a babyface, he was just vanilla. Just vanilla.
Right down the middle.
Yeah. When he became a heel again, it was like, okay, thank God. But, you're a sidekick again. Huh. Sigh.
Well, maybe he's still just trying to find his way back. Like you say, he's trying to be more than the premier athlete. And maybe for Drew Gulak's mentoring again, since he's the champ now, and he has constantly evolved, maybe Tony Nese can make something out of this.
The last time I checked, I didn't hear his theme music on Tuesday Night Live. I heard Drew Gulak's theme song. So that pretty much makes him, what's the word I'm looking for? The premier sidekick, Tony Nese.
Yeah.
I can see that being a t-shirt, unfortunately. Cindy, any takeaways from this match in the Governor's 205 Live debut?
Well, it was a pretty decent match. Like, it's just your typical tag team match in particular. I was hoping to see Tony Nese's entrance like I'm hoping for live, but nope, we get Drew Gulak's theme, and I was a bit disappointed, but, it is what it is. That's what Chris said.
Sorry.
I know you were marking out when he did his Apex of Abs count, of course, Chris. Anyway.
Jeez.
Anyway. But with that being said, it was a pretty decent match. Some pretty good, a little bit of a high-flying action from mostly Orty Lorcan and Tony Nese in particular. But I feel like the only person that shines a little bit more was Danny Burch, because it was his debut on 205 Live. But I've noticed with the crowd, some of the audience are starting to leave during the match, and I can understand it's like, It's a Tuesday night. They just wanted to beat traffic because traffic in San Francisco is brutal as hell if you live in a big city. Like, as you all know, if you live in a metropolitan area or in like anywhere in the bigger city area, you know traffic sucks. And so that's why everybody started leaving, just to make sure to beat the traffic and also transportation and whatnot to get too crowded. But with that being said, I enjoyed most of the matches. Danny Burch or Lorcan worked really great. But with Tony Nese, I know he's trying to do it on his own. But then Drew Gulak, he's someone that did most of the work so far. And of course, at the end, Tony Nese is the one that's getting pinned, of course, by Oney Lorcan. Sucks, because now it's psychic. I mean, Tony Nese won the Cruiserweight title as a babyface at WrestleMania 35.
Correct.
And he lost the title to Drew Gulak, and look what happened. Back as a heel, but being a sidekick. What just happened? Like, I thought I expected a little bit more from him. Now they're just going back to where he's at now. Oh, well. But
I hope something more comes from this.
yeah. But at the end of the day, win, losses, no matter what, it was a pretty decent match. And I'm glad Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan won in the main event together. And that makes me happy.
Yeah, and I keep saying that this brand needs tag team titles. They need to go after some NXT tag titles. And yeah, I thought this was a good match. Mm-hmm. Started off hot. We get some double chop, double leg sweep tag team offensive maneuvers by the 1-2 connection, I like to call them. Just 1-2. They don't have a team name. It's just Burch and Lorcan. Mm-hmm. I find that funny. I find it also funny how it's just only Lorcan's Titantron. But then again, it was Dave Burch's debut. So, it makes sense. Anyway, the match really didn't change in favor of the heels until a distraction, of course. After Gulak, of course, got his hand stomped. Nese caused a distraction. Gulak, wicked body shot to Oney Lorcan. We get some tandem tags for a while, and Nese controls the action. While Gulak is basically coaching him, yelling at him for the most part. At one point, Oney gets attacked. He gets distracted. Dumb babyface. And Nese, he capitalizes by raking his eyes and basically draping him over the top rope. To the point, Gulak's like, look, and cues him to do the middle rope moonsault, as you called it. And, hey, fall quick on it. Wasn't enough. Only though eventually he comes into play, and he tries to counter. He eats a spin-around kick, one of Tony Nese's signatures, to the face. Ouch. Gulak, though, he comes back in play. We get a submission hold. He's biting Oney Lorcan. Talk about adaptation. Okay. Weird. Anyway, eventually, Burch, he gets the hot tag, and the match just picks up from here. They go for their Tower of London tandem tag team finisher move, only for that to be broken up by Tony Nese. Then Oney and Gulak, they're in the ring as Burch and Nese are brawling outside. We get, of course, the fury of Oney Lorcan as he does his running blockbuster into a half crab, though, after the running blockbuster did not give his team the win. And then eventually we get, this was a cool spot, we basically get Burch and Oney holding submissions on both Nese and Gulak, only for Gulak to turn around and literally thrust Oney into his partner, breaking up all his submissions. All four men are down. Gulak, though, he eventually gains some offense here. We get some tag team offensive maneuvers, and then Nese pulls a frostbite flop. I have no idea why it's called that. To Oney Lorcan, which basically just leaves Burch and Gulak. At this point, I forgot who was even legal. It was crazy. We get a power slam, 450 splash combination. You think this was it. Only somehow he pulls him away from the cover, saves the match. And uppercuts Gulak after he goes for his running forearm strike off the apron. Then we go for a pump handle finish attempt into a wicked headbutt. Drops Nese where he stands. That wasn't to his face. That was to his chest. He capsized his chest. And it looked like Danny Burch was going Super Saiyan for a moment, it seemed. Or maybe he was just trying to regain his stamina. I don't know. At this point, we were getting 1-2 chants. I heard much more visibly. And he's like, Oney, get in here. Eventually, we get our finisher with the electric chair, twisting, corkscrew, uppercut move into the near fall. I thought that was it. It was not. Nese with a rope on ties. We almost had history repeat. Somehow, Oney, he got out of it. And then clotheslines friggin' Nese in the next week. Turns him inside out. Only for Burch to come in, they finally pull off the Tower of London maneuver, and the governor picks up the win for his team. with him pinning Nice, Gulak looking on, only getting some retribution.
Mm-hmm.
What does this possibly mean for the future? I don't know. I thought it was a great finish, though. You got Only with some retribution. You got a debut for 205 Live. You're furthering this partnership between, you don't know what way this is benefiting or this is a plan or what, between Nice and Gulak. And we'll see what happens now because you didn't pin the champ, but you did get a win in a tag team match, and wins and losses matter, both in single and tag team action. So who knows? Maybe Birch down the line will get a number one contenders match for the title. And it wouldn't surprise me somehow if Nice finds his way in. Or more likely, maybe it could be someone who wasn't on the show tonight, like Arya Daivari. We don't know what's up with the rest of the 205 Live roster, so only time will tell. As again, Gulak and Nice, they just looked on. It wasn't like Gulak was super PO'd, like when he was gripping the title at Madison Square Garden during the go-home to Clash of Champions. But I think it was more just a look of surprise and questionality. Because apparently, Only listened to Gulak. He adapted. It worked in his favor. His team picked up the win. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and grade this week's episode of 205 Live on, of course, a typical simple 5-star scale. Now, I know you two were there live, so I'm sure that will probably impact your grade as well. But you also saw bits of it on the network. You heard the commentary. You got to see basically what it was like as well. So, with Bird Chris, what would you grade your 205 Live experience this week and the show?
All right. Well, I know I was there for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and I both give them B minuses. So I'm going to be I'm going to be fair when it comes to 205 Live.
Yep.
I'm going to give 205 Live a 3. But I'm going to add 4 more quarters to that because me and my best friend, my good sister, Sydney G, was there live. So altogether, 4 stars of a show.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's a nice way to look at it, as it was just a simple 2-match show, less than 50 minutes. Sydney, what about you?
Well, based on the crowd reaction, based on how the matches will turn out and stories too, I did watch briefly the highlights of 205 Live just to listen to a little bit of the commentary aspect for it. But thinking about it through, because I was there live, but all that, I feel that this is just like a little bit of a same grade, that my opinion. And I did look through my vlogs again just to see from how the crowd reacts, the energy, the environment, all that. To give a fair rating system for that, I'm actually going to give it a 3 3/4 out of 5, though.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, this was basically the minimum you would expect from 205 Live. You had 2 matches that really didn't push a story, it seemed, or either meant towards the title. However, they were 2 great fair bouts. We had a debut, and I thought Brother Kriya Angel Garza was a main event waiting to happen. Still, very nice opener. Watching it from home, of course, I always am fair and biased. But I always appreciate 205 Live a little more than SmackDown Live. Maybe it's just the pacing of it. Maybe it's just the action I see from it. Maybe it's the fact it's just an hour long. Maybe it's the fact it doesn't include a certain person. But with that being said, I'm going to be fair too, and I'm going to give it 3 1/4. And I thought, again, it was a pretty good addition. I was hoping maybe for a little more. Maybe we could have got more off the Brian Kendrick thing. Someone could have tagged him backstage. Maybe there could have been a little squash, reintroducing, I don't know, remember Lucha House Party. This episode seemed very barren. But again, NXT took over the creative direction. We'll see what happens next week. Mm-hmm. With that being said, before we get into some simple stances, I want to know a little more about y'all's live experience. Cindy, were there any chants during 205 Live at all? The typical crowd chants and stuff like that? And what was the hard cam side like?
Okay, so the chant that on the hard cam side, they did chant Lucha, Lucha, Lucha during Angel Garza versus Roberto Carrillo's match. Right. I know there's a little bit of This Is Awesome chant. The 1-2 chant is the one that is mostly get the most reaction from during the main event match for that. Hard cam side, I know there's still some people there, but like I said before, some of the people are starting to leave right away because of trying to beat traffic. Living in the Bay Area is no joke because traffic sucks, transportation gets crowded. You know what I'm talking about, you guys. But I know it's starting to get a little bit more empty for that, despite the whole poor attendance situation from the reports. For that, it was a pretty your typical 205 Live, some people say it's like a little bit of a dark match, but to me it's like, well, it's just a second show that's going to be on the network, and I enjoyed it.
All right, fair enough. Good brother Chris, you were there live. You got to see it and stuff like that. Was it everything that you wanted, or did you feel like you needed like a little more? Was there something missing? And did anything happen afterwards, after 205 Live, that main event ended?
There was no dark match.
Mm-hmm.
There was no dark match. Like Sydney said, there was some 1-2s, lucha. The crowd was like, to me, I felt like 15% of the crowd left the building.
Yeah.
I say 15%.
Right.
People were still having fun. People wasn't BSing around. I know there was a security guard right next to me. Was like, oh, this ain't wrestling. This is gymnastics. And I'm like,
Interesting.
in my mind, I'm like, I got floor seats. I better not say nothing stupid. So whatever. During the Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo.
Is it that old guy with the glasses, good brother?
No, it was the youngster.
The guy with the curly hair? Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Oh.
Interesting, considering they're looking away from the ring, but yeah, I guess.
Oh, it was actually looking. He was actually kind of like looking here and there, but he had to like pay attention to the other camera. So.
Right. Well, of course, sure, they have to remain, completely.
But there was no chance of 205.
Yeah.
I barely heard a little, but that's it. But, like I said, the Sacramento crowd was better than San Francisco crowd.
Yeah, because they were chanting 205, 205, especially like I was sitting in the 100th row almost by the Titantron stage area.
Yeah, and I believe that was the show with Jack Gallagher versus Chad Gable, which was the biggest reason why you got that.
Yes.
You all saw a much better episode then versus here, but you still enjoyed it overall. So
But I heard it was the first time for wrestling in San Francisco in 15 years? That really surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I would think more places in California would be a major market for wrestling. But then again, with all the freaking stuff we've heard recently, and I know y'all know what I'm talking about, who knows where that's going to go. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just have some more fun now and talk about some simple stances. So, folks, we are heading into October. Everything's about to change. It's premiere week. We are going to have Friday Night SmackDown, and as far as we know right now, for now, led through NXT Creative, 205 Live will still occur after SmackDown Live. So with that being said, I'm just going to put you all in the creative seat, and I want you all to book what you think 205 Live should bring to premiere week, because you figure that this is going to be a big-time show, right? We got all these appearances for Friday Night SmackDown. We even got Brock versus Kobe. Brock, please win. And then we're going to have the Cruiserweights, okay? Yeah, I'll rant about that later next time in Superman's Rant, especially if it doesn't happen, but I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, so we know after that they're going to be probably burned out, stuff like that. So what do you all expect next week from 205 Live? Cindy, if you were going to book the first episode of 205 Live after the Fox Friday Night SmackDown premiere, what will be on it?
Okay, one thing, the Cruiserweight title match, Drew Gulak versus Leo Rush, it had to happen. If they're going to do a little bit promo for on NXT, do it on 205 Live, that would draw some crowd. But with that being said, bring Brian Kendrick, have his first match against someone, maybe from NXT, to compete against him. Maybe Kushida versus Brian Kendrick? I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm happy that they're now going to be on Friday night, but for the time being, until we heard any more reports about the more feature about 205 Live, if it's going to cancel or not, and all of that, because since now that we are getting so much wrestling within the week, this is the 90s all over again, y'all. How is it gonna digest in our scheduling, and how are we gonna be tuned in? Especially the only thing it matters is the ratings too. But for that, if they book two matches, it may probably gonna draw a little bit more crowd, especially now that SmackDown's gonna be on Fox. So maybe they're gonna get more new subscribers in for the WWE Network just to watch the pay-per-views and other content. But I don't know what's gonna happen, but time would tell.
All right, so you make two matches, maybe the Brian Karen Casita and the Cruiserweight title match. Okay,
Mm,
simple setup. So, brother
yes.
Chris, any objectives or suggestions to that? I know you're not going to rip up her script. You're not petty. But I wonder what's going through your mind. Do you think two's enough? Do you want additional match? Would you change anything?
Okay, when I found out 205 Live is still running, but it's going to be on Fridays,
Yes.
I was very. I love 205, and you know I do. You see it
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed. Why? It's on a Friday night for SmackDown, and everybody wants to go home.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
because, next Friday is going to be in Los Angeles.
Aaron Rip and Jeff Meacham is going to be there.
Shout out to them.
Okay,
Yeah.
shout out to Jeff Mutual. Anyway, I was about to really say before Sydney really cut me off, I wanted to say, lucky for SoCal. You really need to promote 205 Live when it comes to Monday Night Raw, NXT, and, a little bit for SmackDown.
Mhm.
Give Brian, I like Sydney's idea. Have Kendrick wrestle, but not like Jack Gallagher or Tozawa. Give him Shane Strickland out of the blue from NXT.
AKA Isaiah Swerve.
Isaiah Scott Swerve, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sorry if I messed up that.
He won.
Yes, but and you need to have that Cruiserweight Championship with Drew Gulak versus Leo Rush.
Mhm.
Again, Los Angeles, lucky.
Yep. Eric, Jeff, lucky. But we love
Ha!
you.
That's if they stick around. Remember, he still has to do a live recap. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yes, really promote 205 Live. Because when it's Fridays, people want to go home. Honestly, I wish 205 was just really for NXT. Because, I don't want to see 205 Live in these big arenas. Like, they see empty seats and whatnot. Like, it gets old, it gets tiresome. It gets old. Just put them in Full Sail. Honestly, just put them in Full Sail. NXT is 2 hours now.
Yeah.
People would gravitate to that for the cruiserweight division. When I heard it was a cruiserweight match for a number one contendership, I'm like, yes, you're doing something right. But when I heard the news, 205 Live is still standing, but it's still going to be around SmackDown.
Yes.
That was the only part I was very disappointed about. I'm like, but let's see where this goes.
Can
Yes,
I add up one more thing, good brother? Also,
Yeah.
because I've been to the Staples Center one time last year for Survivor Series, and that is one of the biggest arena out there. They did SummerSlam, they did all the major pay-per-views, but Aaron putting 205 Live after SmackDown, once SmackDown Live is off the air after the first premiere on Fox, a lot of people are going to be leaving. You're going to see empty seats from each section, from left and right, and that's gonna hurt a little bit more to it too, like with the crowd reaction and whatnot. So putting into Full Sail would be the best idea, just to do that. I know I was against it at first, but thinking about it, thinking like the attendance, that's gonna elevate more for the ratings.
okay.
Or,
So you obviously,
or you can do this.
all right.
Have 205, like they did it a couple times here and there during, I think, was it the Mitch Match Challenge a
Yes.
little bit?
Yes.
Have 205 Live first, then do SmackDown. It'll be a lot more better. You can get the crowd like, okay, cool, we got a match here. Get the cruiserweights like the pump of the audience, like, okay, we got something good, then they can see a weak ass SmackDown show. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and just like with WWE main event first, then Monday Night Raw, and then they have their dark match.
Yes, and give those wrestlers time. Start the show at West Coast time, 4:00 immediately. Get it done, get it out the way, have it first, then enjoy SmackDown. Then you can go home.
Mm-hmm.
Do it like that.
Yeah, I
It,
see
it
your
would
point
really,
there.
it would really work. Trust me, I believe it would work.
I think it would too, because I feel like, again, you got to consider you're on Friday night. What do people want to do Friday night? They want to go home. They don't want to spend the time in the arena until 11 o'clock at night. It's different on Sunday because that's dedicated to big time shows and people expect that type of time. Oh, they're going to go to 11. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I believe that they should do it before SmackDown Live. If I was going to book this episode, you definitely should have the Cruiserweight title match. You should have the Brian Kendrick, furthering that idea. about you're going to show me respect, but maybe instead of doing a squash, you're bringing a surprise like SAS Scott Swerve. I don't know how much history those two have, but I think they would put on a great match as well. And maybe sticking to the two-match format would work better because if you notice lately, 205 Live, they talk about NXT, NXT UK, and of course Triple H wants to put everything under the NXT banner. So if you give that sort of promotion time and you still give us two cruiserweight matches, but you still acknowledge the main roster product because, you know, you're under that too, Raw, SmackDown Live, all within that 45-minute span, I think that could completely work, and you would end the show at 10. Because I don't think they're going to do dark matches. I really think they're going to stop doing that because nobody believes anything's going to happen in a dark match. Mm-hmm. Why would you stay beyond 11 to 11:15, especially on a Friday night? I wouldn't. No. So that's just my simple thoughts, but I like that we came up here with the team. All right, well now let's go ahead and free Robin this. I don't believe in calling it wild card because wild card is stupid. Goodbye, Chris. What's on your mind tonight to talk about on Simple Stances? What do you want to discuss?
Well, I want to give you this little heads up live. You know, I do got a little time left on the clock, but talk Simple Stances. Honestly, I pretty much just gave it to you about how I feel about 205 Live being on Fridays at the end. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much it. You know, I got nothing.
The production. So we basically killed two birds with one stone.
That's right. I mean, we did express this about our, you know, what's the difference between our Friday experience in the intro before talking about 205 Live, and then like our thoughts about the announcement about coming from now it's going to be moving to Friday night. So I think it's like what to expect, what's going to be ready for the future of 205 Live. I know we're going to be bracing ourselves just in case if there's any changes that's going to happen for that as well, because I know we got still people have their mixed opinion and whatnot. And as I stated on my blog on my personal YouTube channel is that, you know, people are still going to talk about like 205 Live should have been canceled, 205 Live still go forward, but different like venues and whatnot. You know, it is going to be still like a discussion like as a, you know, for a cup of coffee or tea, you know, just having more. And then that's what we got this, you know, 205 Live discussion too. Like, you know, talking about it and everything that's going to come to play during like this whole plethora of wrestling week.
The wrestling boom.
Yeah. This is the 90s all over again, y'all.
Simple as that. And like I said, 205 Live Matters will continue as it does right now. Review, recap, assess, discuss, fantasy book, here, now, and forever until I officially see it no longer on the network. But regardless, I think that's a great way to wrap this up. This was a nice, fun, live retrospective. We got our outlook for what we expect to see, hopefully, during Premiere Week. And if you all would like to book what you think should happen with 205 Live during the Premiere Week, let us know in the comments down below. Because the bottom line is this. The number one thing that should happen, I agree, is the Cruiserweight title. If you don't let that happen on the freaking 205 Live after Friday Night SmackDown premieres, it better happen on NXT the following week, because as of right now, it is not announced for this week's NXT, but this is the first NXT to go full live for 2 hours with limited commercial interruptions. Now, I wonder who pulled that play. But anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. So with that being said, thank you everybody for joining us once again on another stellar edition of 205 Live Matters, and a special thank you to both my wonderful fellow Team Indie DQ guests here, good brother Chris and Cindy. Good brother Chris, always a pleasure, sir, to work around your schedule. We need to try and figure this out as we keep going along, but work in life, it is what it is. Where can people find anything you want to plug?
Well, I don't mind plugging my social media no matter what. I am on a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm doing very well. Follow me on Facebook, Christopher Willis. Follow me on Instagram, Chris J. Willis86. Follow me on Twitter that I'm really not on at the moment, but it's GB Chris Willis86. Follow the AEW Nations. I found out we hit 15,000.
Yeah, 15K.
15K. We recently hit that. Thank you for Chris Holiday for bringing that up with the numbers every single time. Follow Aftermath Wrestling with Stephen and Jerry. They do great work when it comes to what's NXT and NXT Tea Party. That my best friend Evan G. Francis, shout out to him, good buddy, was on episode 62. My God, what a review for that one. My God, that was really awesome. I'm not trying to stroke my best friend's ego here. Follow Colin Andrews on his YouTube channel. Follow his chopping blog with his reviews. He is awesome. He's incredible. Great father, great dad, the whole nine. Eat burgers. I'm just saying. I heard he loves to cook those burgers. Anything else I need to plug? Oh, no, I don't have to do it because we got someone else can do the plugs herself.
All right, well, fair enough.
NoDQ.com. Support 205 Live Matters.
That's what I'm gonna go. Make sure it's short and sweet since you gotta go to work, Chris. Okay. Still on hiatus on Twitter, but you can still follow me at nodq.com/Cindy. But I am mostly active on Instagram at simply_C_OK, where I posted photo art of landscape, natures, Funko Pops, and wrestling as well, and also Instagram stories as well. I post like quotes and also memes too, and in the know of what's going on in wrestling in general. But I also posted on Instagram story highlights of like shows I've gone to as well, exclusively on Instagram. But if you want to see more, especially like my journey to any wrestling show that is like 30 minutes to 2 hours away or further, I have a YouTube channel for a while, and now it's back. It's simply_C_OK, where I posted like the adventures in wrestling vlogs of shows I've gone to, from independent wrestling to WWE shows. Especially the last video is the adventures of wrestling to the new Chase Center Arena for SmackDown Live and 205 Live, y'all. So, and yeah, make sure to check out nodq.com/merch, so you can find all the nodq.com merchandise, from t-shirts, coffee mugs, hats, beanies, like from No DQ logo to the Simple Man Noah Foster's t-shirt. I have a t-shirt and the Ladies on NoDQ.com t-shirt, but it's on Pro Wrestling Tee, so you guys can still check it out along with the other NoDQ.com personalities as well. So just gotta say it like that, just to support the love and everybody else.
Oh, fair enough. And good brother Chris, like I said, take it easy, sir. Glad you're doing well. Don't worry about social media. And Cindy, the Fozzie thing. Lucky! Anyway.
Chris was there too, but he's lucky meeting the GOAT, Chris Jericho.
I'm not going to say anything. Anyway, all right, let me go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you both kindly. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of what?
Wrestling!
Wrestling! Simple as that. Yes, wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talking anything wrestling, the W5 brands and beyond, and also Beyond Wrestling too. I just realized Beyond Wrestling, every time I say that, it's like I'm talking about the promotion, but I'm not. I'm talking about more stuff than just that. Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Independent Wrestling. Support independent wrestling, folks, because that's where the stars of tomorrow are today. Then look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah takes you to my Twitter page, or follow my civil YouTube channel here at youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. You'll find all sorts of reviews, recaps, predictions, a couple streams, and other little simple content, all in nice little places for you here on this simple channel. Content every week. At the heart, hashtag 205 Live Matters. Upcoming stuff includes AEW versus NXT War Outlook 4/ Premier Week predictions, and I will be doing a Simply Reacting stream, simulcasting both shows this coming Wednesday. I figured, why not? Do a little experiment. I'm approaching my 1-year anniversary of my YouTube channel too, so stay tuned for more on that. I might do a Q&A or a special live thing on that. Speaking of wrestling predictions, stay tuned. I'll also be doing predictions coming up on King of Pro Wrestling for the Team NDQ Predictions League, one of our last events for the year. And also more stuff to come just in wrestling in general. And Cindy already plugged NoDQ.com. We already played Aftermatch Wrestling. Go follow Colin Andrew at the Chama Blog. Go follow my good friend The Holiday, who's currently at work. Shout out to you, good sir. He is currently at work. He has his own YouTube channel now. Some great content so far. So follow his channel. It's a weird URL I have to put in the description. And as always, let the close, because I keep it simple. Support your wrestling outlets for big and small. And let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite wrestling community together. Simple as that. But with that, thank you for all who tune in. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit that bell to know when the next video goes live, either on NoDQ.com's YouTube channel or my Silver YouTube channel here. So, for my good friends here, good brother, Christopher Willis, the darling of NoDQ, the simply Cindy G, and for your simple man, Noah Foster. Until our next video, whether here or on NoDQ.com, take care, enjoy wrestling. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Don't let social media drive you to the point of you're going to delete your account. Take it easy, and until the next video, have a good night.
Cheers, y'all.
Good night, everybody. And 205 Live Matters.
Always simple as that. Bye, everybody.